Welcome back, everybody. My name is Steven, aka the Wiz.One here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. So this video is New York session. It's lunchtime in East Coast, so it's about 12:11 a.m. Tuesday, August 25th, 2026, and kind of a range day today, but we did have some interesting action. So I'll kind of break down what you see on the screen here. There's a lot going on, so bear with me. Let's start over here on the left. I'm going to zoom in, and we have some weekly delta aggressive buying and selling levels on the far right column over here. The next to it, this is the daily delta profile. So it gives us more of what's happening now. This is what's happened basically since Sunday night as far as aggressive buying goes and aggressive selling goes. We also have some big bubbles here that represent the aggregated big trades that maybe one entity has placed in a very short period of time for a larger aggregate aggressive order total. And then we have this linear, just this basically a moving average. It's a 21-day moving average or 21 period moving average. We're on a 40 range chart, so every 40 ticks of price action on the price scale, we print a new level. And then we have this volume profile slash delta that shows us the volume and the total and which side was more aggressive at each price level. So lots going on here. And down in the bottom, we have a CVD line that shows us for the session where cumulative volume delta, aggressive difference between aggressive buying and selling, we're slightly positive 378. So it's a small number. So it's a battle. Okay. And then at the very bottom, we show where the aggressive buyers or the aggressive sellers stepped in. You can see here 71 orders printed. You see some pink down here, which represents aggressive selling volume. And then where you see the green, you can see more aggressive buying. Obviously, there's aggressive buying and selling happening all the time. So these are just ways to quickly see who's in control. And we have on this 40 range chart, we have these effort zones where price effortlessly moved in a direction. And as you can see, we're kind of all over the place today. But you can see we tapped into this range, rejected. Same thing here. We left this range, tapped back into it, and got about a 1-to-1 here. Right, if we take a look at this here. That zone, you can see that we got more than a 1-to-1 before it reversed back in the other direction. So there's a lot going on. Here's what else we can see for this session. We got a volume profile. So right now we are in the middle of the value area, slightly above the 50% line. So that's the value area since 9:30. And we have another small distribution right here where some two-sided trade occurred, and over the overnight session as well. But we failed to hold above that level. And for the session, we are trending down. Okay, so let's get rid of all that stuff. Our initial balance high 29,413. Initial balance low is a little bit hidden here. Let me get rid of some of these extra lines. See if I can find the initial balance low. Too much going on here. Let's do this. Let's just remove all the drawings. So here's the initial balance low. All right, so our initial balance is from that value, that high to this low, excuse me, to right here. That's our initial balance. So we did have initial balance breakout. It quickly moved to a protection level where there was previous balance right here and rejected and came back into this distribution, returning to the value area for the session. And if we look at the overnight, this is essentially the overnight, we're still in that value range. So this is a no trade zone. Right? And we had a strong absorption of sellers. Aggressive buyers have been here all week to push the price back up, and there's still some aggressive buyers here too. We had these aggressive sellers are losing, and we're about to break out of this value area again, and maybe we're going to come to test this level right here. Okay, so I would like to see us break back into this value area high extreme for the session. I'd like to see us get above that line right there. But it's starting to look interesting. What's very interesting is how quickly we broke the initial balance, came into this protection level, then just rejected off of it, kind of dinked around for a bit, and then pushed up higher, returning to this small little zone, right? Where we're tapping into multiple times. 1, 2, and maybe a third time. The more we tap into it, we go a little bit deeper and we break through it. So we have this area that sellers stepped into, right? And pushed the price down. Right, and if we look at the most aggressive level, it was right there for sellers. And we had some buyers up here where they got absorbed and then made a little bit of progress. And then looks like up here buying just stopped. Not a lot of buying, aggressive buying up here, and sellers just drove the price back down. So that's what NQ looks like right now on the day. And again, as we can see, we are still in a short-term downswing, basically pull back, retesting this arbitrary trend line right now. Also trying to leave value. Right, and if we can get above this level, maybe we go back to test the initial balance high or come back to this small little zone where price effortlessly just ripped down. Okay, but I kind of feel like if price gets back up here near this high volume node, or a bit higher, maybe right here where we have this zone mark, might be a good opportunity for a short, putting our stop above the initial balance high, then taking it back down. So might look something like this. And might look something like that. Taking trade back into level right here. Which is kind of the point of one of these points of control, where essentially there's a bunch of them right here. But aggressive buying is up above 500 now. What's interesting on this downswing here, we can see that there was no aggressive buying. Then we came here, these aggressive sellers got absorbed, buyers step back in, right, from a CVD standpoint. And CVD is slowly increasing. But is there a divergence? I don't know. Price made higher lows here. Price made higher lows there. But and then it made lower highs here. Looking at CVD, it's from this one. We made lower highs here. So there's really no trade right now. Okay, until we break through this zone. Okay, so that is my first point. So there could be a couple short opportunities. First short opportunity could be potentially around here, where these buyers failed, right? Maybe sellers step back in. Or this level seems to be the best level to take a short as I already indicated. All right, so that is kind of what we're looking at on the day for NQ. Zooming in down on our CVD pressure, the most significant level of pressure was right this candle right here, this 40 range candle. We're starting to move higher. We broke out of this zone. I'd like to see a retest here. And then a break of this high with a close. And that might be my signal to get in long. Okay, so we have all this aggressive buying to protect us. So if we were to get into a long here instead of a short from up here, likely gonna take it here, putting our stop behind the low. And take the profit here where we think price has a chance of rejecting. All right, so that's our technical analysis. All right, we got a long in play, we got a short basically from the same location back down. Looks like we're close to getting our retest. Now we have a pretty good day today on NQ. For this count, we're up 487. For our Apex account on NQ, we're up 547. We had two really bad days where we drew down about $3,500 after running it up 11K, which is expected. So I'm being a little bit more cautious with the account. But I do need to make some progress this week so that I don't have to go through a rebill. So I don't want to have to rebill that account. It starts to get expensive, but I will. I mean, it's better than starting over. Sometimes you got to pay to play. And then we got MNQ. That's what we're gonna trade on. We don't want to give our profits back, so we're up about 100 on MNQ here. On Apex, so it's like, you know, 700 plus, and I think we're going to my funded futures account number 3 and 4. Maybe we'll take the trade on these accounts. One's a 25K, one's a 50K. All right, so aggressive buyers are stepping in still. All right, so but it is the lunchtime hour. Okay, so I don't expect any really big moves until after about 30 minutes to another hour from now. So I don't really expect anything too crazy. It's likely that we just range for now. you can see that more value is being built higher, right? So this is lots of volumes being traded here. So price is holding steady. It may not come back here. So we've already came up, retested it, took off, tried to break back down, more aggressive buyers stepped in. So price may already be moving up, but we need to break through this range first. Right now we're just tapping into it, tapping into it, tapping into it, tapping into it, tapping into it. All right, and here is the range from before. Could likely even go a little bit higher, but I like here. So there's really no trade right now. If I was to get into a trade right now, even though my daily bias is a short, I would likely take that scalp long up to 29,384 and then scalp long and then look for a short from there. Okay, so another big note. It's kind of bullish, but like it's just a weird market right now. Very range. It's like a range day. That's what I think. I think we're just going to be in this range, just like we were overnight. You can see back here too. Kind of broke. Above this range. So lots of sellers got absorbed there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So we have our plan. Looking for a little bit of a retracement back to this area. If we don't get it, we don't enter until we get above the red line. Or maybe above that 29,294 with some aggressive buying pressure. Okay, so that is our, let's go ahead and hide the trading panel and we'll hide these delta values because they're kind of big. And we're gonna move this over. Now let's look at SPX. All right, so got a lot going on this chart. This is a CBOE options levels. You notice there's blue and red. The more little triangle hazard, symbols, the more important the level. So these are the exposure levels for the market makers. Remember, they take up like 52% of all volume. Or excuse me, all trades, and they're usually taking the counter position, and they have to take the counter position, so they have to hedge in other markets. So this is a really important level. Usually if we hit this 7,700, that might act as a break. And then down here, this level might also act as a break. And this is a 15-minute chart. It's a little bit more on the higher time frame. Trying to find the right color. I guess that's good. And generally speaking, when we break through these red levels, this is actually an important level too. Okay, when we break through these levels right here, I'm going to turn that into a blue for the moment. Generally, price has a tendency to rip through it. And then when it hits these blue levels, has a tendency to stop. Okay, so on the right, these are our market maker exposure levels. They're basically in alignment. The largest levels are marked with these horizontal lines, so they all correspond. Smaller levels, got a lot of them marked, 5. Kind of helps me figure out where I want to take profit and where I want to enter with momentum. Now on the right side, this talks about acceleration. So you can see this blue area, when price is here, it tends to move a little bit slower. But if we come up here, it's going to accelerate up. And if we break through again, it's going to accelerate up. So it kind of matches. You can see this is kind of an acceleration area from here all the way up if price makes it there. So maybe, just maybe, instead of entering on my NASDAQ, we'll enter on my funded futures. Okay, and this might be a good example of how to use these option levels to help in your trading. I'm going to put on a couple other things here too. It looks like we may have to jump in here. All right, I'm going to go 1 micro ES, and we're taking it all the way up to here. Okay, so this is an example of how to use these levels. And our stop loss is going to be about 1-to-1, close. So just to kind of show you how you can see price is starting to accelerate a little bit faster, right? We can even put another indicator on here called speed of tape. This is one I like to look at, and we do instant. It's a little hard to, hopefully it doesn't get too busy on here. The options levels have to recalculate. But this seems like a really good opportunity to show how the acceleration works when price hits those levels, because market makers have to hedge their exposure in other markets, the options market makers. So I expect to see a little bit of acceleration through here. And then one more thing that I want to add, I don't think it's on here, is big trades. Okay, so we're going to add some big trades. You can see speed of tape is really slow, so we're not really getting that acceleration that I was looking for. Big trades, we need to go like 400, and we're gonna change some colors here. It's a little bit easier to see. Dark. Oh, that should be like a pink, dark pink. dark green. Same thing here. We'll make this kind of turquoise color. Make this a dark pink color. And turn on the text. Make the size 6 and 12. All right, so that should be good. So we'll let everything repopulate. And we may actually exit this trade because we're not getting the acceleration that I was looking for. All right, generally it moves pretty fast from my observation, of course. Again, another factor might be because of we're at lunchtime. Okay, so a lot of times when I see these smaller levels, acceleration kind of stops. So maybe we get just maybe we just hang out here. Looks like quite the battle. Got lots of large players stepping in, more selling than buying. Looks like this level's being protected from being ripped through. Kind of want to just get out of this. Give it a couple minutes. You can see we have our stop behind all of these aggressive buyers. Pretty good numbers, 846, 548. But if we look around, sellers are everywhere. The difference this time is that there were no buyers over here, but they stepped in down here and they stepped back in again higher, and sellers are getting absorbed higher each time. So that should have went my instinct and just exited right there. But we're going to give this a little bit of time. This is a good zone for a continuation. Like I said, we're probably going to range around here for a bit. So what I might do, considering the fact that I do think we're going to be here for a while, my initial plan of this ripping through is, I don't think it's going to happen right now. But what I do think is if I add one down here, I can at least get a little bit of this range. Because I think we're going to be consolidating for a while. That would be my guess. Now keep in mind, these Gex levels change. And when these acceleration lines, these become very close together, it doesn't accelerate as well. Okay, so for our idea on MNQ, let's go ahead and buy this up. All right, so if we come back down here and Put our stop loss behind here. Take profit back here. Playing this range. You can start to see how being prepared really helps us make better decisions. I actually like to, I believe I like trading NASDAQ while looking at the SPX levels. Looks like we're getting that acceleration in NASDAQ. So it's possible that we're getting some hedging there, right? You never know, right? You just don't know. So this looks good though. So we're taking into consideration the time of day, the large volume that's being traded on the SPX, along with, so the big bubbles, along with the gamma levels where the options dealers may have to hedge in the underlying markets in order to manage their exposure in the options levels. So it's a lot of information, but hopefully I made it fairly clear. Obviously, add comments, questions, I'd be happy to answer. If you found it valuable, obviously y'all know what to do. I ain't gonna bark about that stuff because the whole goal here is just to get on here and talk through the logic of why or why not we're going to be in a position. So we did not get the fill. I'm going to close these because we're pretty much locked in on these. We didn't get filled over here. And let's hide the tools as well because I don't think we need to draw anything else. So we entered a little bit higher than we wanted to, like 4 or 5 points. But because I was paying attention over here, I just jumped in. Saw this little absorption of sellers, buyers pulled it back up. We have these buyers protecting us over here. So if we rip through this level, my idea is invalid and I'm happy to take the L. Save some money. It's a shame we didn't get filled right here. I like this trade far better than this trade. You can see buyers are far more aggressive on the NASDAQ side today. At least, maybe not far more aggressive. There's more prints. But the prints over here are bigger, far bigger. So you can see that the liquidity on the NASDAQ side for big trades is far smaller than over here on S&P 500. So they are kind of just ranging around here. So that needs to go one more tick. We're not going for 8 to 1 here anymore. At least not during this hour. It's going to be more like 1.7 to 1. All right, so when we're off, so we take a little L. We did get filled on this second contract. We're gonna put our stop. Give it a little bit of room here. That's too much room. And I wouldn't be opposed to getting back in if we see aggressive print here. Okay, so that idea failed. We also failed to break through this strong negative gex level, this 5 triangle level. And we have a 5 triangle positive level, so maybe it's just going to be range here. This is the range, which in that case I should just get out. Let's see what happens. Don't think buyers give up that easily. We have lots of buying here. So I don't think they give up easy. I think my stop was just too tight. So we're gonna get in for one more here. And we're gonna try again. And we're gonna give us the low. So 28 to win 52 on this trade. Taking a second stab at it. I wouldn't call it a stab, is we have levels marked. Let's see, buyers stepped in right here. Not massive numbers of buyers, but buyers nonetheless. 42 and 40, it's a good print. So fairly large, not big enough to print a bubble. So we're just, and then another 42, right? So we got multiple levels. This is good information where likely the same person. And we just protected below, right? If it breaks through all of these levels, I mean, we're wrong. We'll take a small loss again. But these are little scalpy scalps, and doesn't mean they're gonna work out. Looks like I'm gonna take one more L here, unless that holds. All right, I'm banking on these guys protecting that level, right? Got buyers stepping in right here on the order flow, aggressive buyers. They're really trying. You see the logic as to why the stop is where it's at. Aggressive buyers are trying to push the price up. We had another 36 print, so there is protection going on, but sellers are strong. Sellers are, I mean, we're basically ranging, as I mentioned before. We're likely going to range for the rest of the hour. Just how low do we go? So we get stopped out again for another small loss. So that's 2 trades down 62. Trust me, I'm not afraid to get back in. All right, but we need to see something. And the fact that we ripped through all of these buyers who were trying really hard to keep price elevated. I need to wait for a better level. So where could we get in next? Well, we could get in next somewhere around. We can try again somewhere around here. But the fact that we're ranging on S&P, I don't know. I think I think we come back up. I think it's going to be a range. I'm just early. Yeah, we're not trying to get it all back in one shot here. We're taking this back up to the 21 moving average, which is kind of the middle of this zone that I have marked where all this stuff is going on. Where those sellers were before, where they were likely to step back in and push price down again. So I think we're just going to kind of be in this range for a bit. Lots of 40s, right? So somebody's trying. It's like 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. It's probably the same person, right? So sellers kind of got absorbed here. And now these buyers are protecting. So with that order flow, you can kind of see what's going on here. I'm going to add on to it. All the way, we're going all the way up. Guess not. We weren't fast enough. Okay, so we broke above this red gex level. Price generally would accelerate, but it's not a very important level. So, or it is a very important level, so it's likely being protected by all of these large sellers. So put our stop behind. Do I already have a stop back here? We're going to move this up. Stop behind this level. I mean, I could see price coming all the way back down here. I really could. I don't want to take on that much risk though. So it looks like we're getting a little acceleration. Sellers just step back in though over here in NASDAQ, right at the moving average 21 period. And this just this big, it's just a fight going on, right? So no trade here. Not at the moment. The reason I really like a trade here is because we're above this negative X line. Let me add one more piece of information. We're gonna add the envelopes. This is gonna give us the 0 Gex line. See if we're above or below it, which acts kind of like a VWAP. Okay, so over here on NASDAQ, we are getting some selling pressure to the downside. Also got rejected. Yeah, we're just ranging. So it's 11 o'clock though. So back from lunch. Maybe the humanoids are back to make some decisions. This is just a bad trade. So just going to be ranging around. Same thing here, like another trade. I don't know. I think it's Chop City, so I'm gonna stay out. Well, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up, but I hope you found it valuable in the sense of how I use different things. This is the Deepcharts platform at deepcharts.com. We're starting to rip down to retest this lower area. This would be a place, if I see some action, that I would likely take a long, but the fact that we just hit the 11 o'clock hour and volume is coming in and price is being ripped to the downside, I think I'm gonna exit this trade, take an L. Now we're looking for aggressive buyers to step in right here. That's what we're looking for. Pretty volatile, ripping 2, 3, 4, 5 points at a time. Okay, so sellers got absorbed, a little bit of a seller absorption. Still kind of ranging. So this 0 on the right side on SPX, is 0 gamma level is kind of like a VWAP. See, it's starting to slope up, but it's flattening out. So A little bit of a battle happening down here. But not a ton of aggressive volume yet. So price is moving with relatively light effort. Buyers did protect this zone though, so that's a good sign. Like to see a retracement back to here, right here. I'm gonna jump in a trade here. 7. I'm gonna look for 29,250. I don't know. Maybe. I like that better. Bring our stop. Below this candle right here. So it's like a 1-to-1. Just big aggressive order printing, but absorbed. Sellers are not messing around, huh? Look at that, and we just get stopped out. All right. I guess we're not gonna leave just yet. Sellers we're back to the 0 gex level. I wouldn't be opposed to taking one more shot here, but I'd like to see price drop a little bit lower. Looks like we're going back to retest the initial balance low. That's what it looks like we're doing. Okay, so as soon as they came back from lunch, they pushed the price down. All of these buyers bailed. The next protection for buyers are here. So we got trapped buyers down here. Now, interesting, there was some effort with this move. Okay, so this move is here too, is real. Okay, so it's a real down move. Got a rejection off the 0 gex line on the SPX temporarily, momentarily. Buyers are just failing miserably. There's a little more room to the downside, maybe to test this initial balance. Do we go all the way? I think we do. So we're gonna take a little short here, back down to where the next buyers are. That's $39 trade, and we're going to protect ourselves behind these sellers pretty tight. Let's see what happens here. I think we need to go that far. Keep our losses small, yo. All right. It's half of the battle. So I'm kind of going against this zero gex line because I think there's a little more room to the downside, to the initial balance low, and the markets are moving pretty similar. So I do think here on NASDAQ, there's less resistance to the initial balance low than there is to the initial balance high. So I think we come back to test the initial balance low. Now, what I think and what actually will happen, yeah, those are two different things. Sometimes we work counterintuitively against what we see on the charts because we think we're smarter. Like for instance, this level is generally an area where we bounce because it's like a VWAP, and I completely disregarded it because I think we can go back to retest this level. But the truth is we already came up, retested it, left it, came back, tapped into it. So I might be late to the party. I might just be late to the party. Okay. So I'm gonna manage this carefully. We get a close above this level, I'm gonna close it out. See if we can absorb these buyers a second time. Okay, so we're out. So these sellers got absorbed. Let's see if it happened higher or in the same area. Okay, so we have our range. Okay, I kind of see something now. All right, so that's 3 trades. All right. Looks like higher high, lower high. Buyers are stepping in again. Sellers got absorbed. Sellers got absorbed again. Let's see. Tough trading. So if I think we missed the boat and we're not going down any lower, I need to get long. we're going to add on to this trade. Put the stop loss down here. Trailing stop. What's price? It's here. And the offset. Right there. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Can definitely go lower. There's definitely room to the upside. And buyers are doing their best to absorb sellers. And now we have some aggressive buyers actually stepping in. This looks good. Should go right there. Say 4 times the charm. All right, so came down, tested this heavy Gex line, broke through it, accelerated, rejected, came back up, tested this negative Gex line, rejected, came back down to test the positive exposure Gex line, came back to the red line, rejected, retrace back into a 15-minute wick. And we're ranging between these two Gex levels right here. Is essentially, and we're holding the 0 Gex level. So I'm slightly on the bullish side. Aggressive buyers stepping in, sellers got absorbed. There was significant selling pressure here. Sellers got absorbed, and we're making a move back up to see if there's more sellers up here. Higher prices. I think we really need a trailing stop here. That would have just taken us out of the trade, to be honest. right back to break even. Like, sellers are doing a good job pushing it back down. Buyers stepping back in. I'm gonna shut the video down, but I'd like to see this trade play out first. Win or lose. So we'll just give it a little bit of time. Not much to talk about, really. So what we can do is take a look at NQ order flow from the limit order book. So the most significant level right now to the upside where there's a lot of resting liquidity is 29. Is that 952? 29,952? Sorry, 29,252. All right, but you can see that having a hard time breaking through, right? Lots of selling, meeting buyers right here. So having a real hard time breaking through. So the downside, buyers are stepping back in. Sellers can break through that level. Maybe we continue downward. And maybe I exit again at a loss, which is fine. And yep, I'm out. So now I'm using order flow real time to exit and save some money, right? I just saved $25, $30, $40 by getting out of that position early. Doesn't mean I don't want to get back in. Okay, I'm back in again. All right, we see some buyers stepping in. And come back over here. This is just a quick scalp. Okay. Keep everything small. And we jump out pretty quickly if buyers can't make any progress. And we're out. Okay. So the good news is that we are down $200, but we've had like five losses. Okay, not it's okay. It's like nothing. Like $200 to nothing. Right? It's absolutely nothing. So we're managing our losses very well. We're just wrong on the direction. Okay, so we broke through and we're retesting the Gex line. More aggressive buyers are stepping in here. So we are now testing this next level. Okay, lots of buyers here. So let's see what happens. But sellers are pretty much like, nope, sorry. We'll gladly sell at lower prices. So we're retesting the initial balance low of the ES S&P 500. Here's where I expect to see a little bit of a rejection. But man, those sellers are strong. So we're still making our way back down to the initial balance low on NASDAQ. Let's see if we can retest it. Looks like we're bouncing off of the GEX, the most important positive GEX level for market maker exposure. Selling pressure is kind of diminishing down here momentarily. But a little bit of absorption. Let's watch this battle. We're looking for a green close on this 40 tick and then a little bit of retracement. And we'll try again. Try one more time. Actually, let's be smart about this. This place where sellers got absorbed. Okay, so that's our level. Okay, so it doesn't want to go any lower, huh? Okay. So this is one more pullback. 1, 2, 3. It's hard to tell. Ugh. Okay, we're getting a little bit of aggressive effort here. But we came back and retested the IBV low for S&P. I'm expecting to do the same thing for NASDAQ. Okay, so I'm not going to blindly enter down here at 29,200. We're going to look for a reaction if price decides to come back down. And if not, It might run without us. Might just go. Might just go. Right now, pretty low volume, so nothing too exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna short down to the IB low with our stop above. So taking on about a little more than $100 on risk. And kind of okay, so the idea is we're making lower highs, lower lows. Aggressive sellers are stepping in lower and making progress. We've yet to retest the initial balance low, which I anticipate. And after that, we may try to mean revert back to the middle or up here somewhere. Who knows? So on the SPX, we're below the 0 SPX line. That's the plan. Buyers are trying to step in but unable to push the price up. That's a good sign. Okay, we'll sell one, or excuse me, we'll buy, not yet, nope, not yet, not yet. I mean, really, after seeing all those buyers just get wrecked, it's hard to be long, at least right here, without a retest of the initial balance low. I mean, anything could happen, but I just doesn't feel it feels bad, man, to be long right now. Felt good before, but it feels bad now. So the other thing is that this positive gex level down here, this blue, this area where I marked, it's a dampener, but it doesn't mean price can't move through it. It just means that it generally can consolidate here for a while before making a decision. CBD is positive, but price is not going up. So aggressive buyers are failing. Okay, we are going to protect our bankroll and move this into break even territory. Knowing that there's always a chance that it can come back and stop us out. A high chance, high probability. There we go. See what happens here. Do we want to re-enter or not? So buying pressure got a little bit of result here. You go either way here. Okay, so that's the problem. I really think we get a retest to the IBV low, but it does not have to come back to the IBV low. And it really looks like it's trying to be held above it. We already swept this low. So, okay. We're taking a shot here. We're going long for a little scalp. Back up to the high. Actually, all the way up to here. We're gonna rip 292. So I'm a little conflicted. Keep flipping my bias. And that's probably not the best. But I see aggressive buyers stepping in. And that's why. Are they making progress though? Are they making progress? No, they're not. I'm out. So that's a $50 mistake. And I do think that was a mistake, by the way. Buyers are just not making progress. Sellers keep getting absorbed too. So it's really a tough call. This looks bullish over here. We're trying to break through. So hard. Ah. I mean, we are at a level where I want to get involved. We are protecting that initial balance low. I like to see some sellers get absorbed. Here we're about to get a close above the 21 day, 21 period. Broke above VWAP over here. We did not get the close above yet. Not a overwhelming amount of pressure and effort. Still we get a close over that 21. Getting close though. We're gonna give it one more shot. I feel like sellers are losing a little bit of momentum here. And we're not going for a full move. We're just going to where this moving average flattened out. See if it's a mistake. Getting chopped. Chop, 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 chop. Getting chopped. What a game, man. What a game. I mean, it really feels like it doesn't want to go any lower right now. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing on both sides. All right, so I just got to go with it. Look at some headlines. The proposed framework between Oman and Iran include the establishment of a joint temporary shipping lane through the Strait of Hormuz and agreed to implement a joint project to clean the strait mines. Canada put 15 to 50% tariffs on about 20 billion of US products. Canada doubled on tariffs, steel products 50% from 25. Iran has been notified any shipper about placing new mines will immediately systematically be destroyed. All mines have been removed and or detonated. Consumer confidence is lower than expected. Okay. There's our news. Yeah, it's just chopping, right? Chop, chop. Chop, chop, motherfucker. Ah. Sometimes you just gotta stick to your original plan, man. One of my biggest problems. What was my original plan? Retest the IBB low before rejecting. So it's like we're gonna do just that right now. All right, let's see. Pull this down here. I don't want to look at it right now. Holding that line. Yeah, I haven't lost confidence on us driving back up to retest this range right here. This range. If not all the way up to here, 7,700 to be honest. So that looks good still. Yeah, we're down here. Let's see. 151. Testing the value area low right now. So this is a spot where I originally had my original target before I changed my plan. So don't do that. Bad idea. Kind of depressing, to be honest, that I did that. It's kind of not even depressing, just infuriating on a real deep level where you don't have words for it. Regardless of what happens, I should have just maintained my original plan because it was actually a really good plan. Still about $80 in drawdown on that trade, but looks like pretty strong rejection from this dynamic resistance here. We have this GEX level, trend line, aggressive buyers. So I think we just kind of range. Not really sure if price is interested in going any lower today. Tape is moving really slow. All right, so retesting the initial balance low here. Once again. CBD is pretty much positive 1800. We go lower here, I'm out. I'm just out. About as low as I want to see it go. And these buyers make progress. So we got some absorption. SPX holding tight. I'd like to see a little more aggression on the buy side, but we are seeing aggression on the buy side. Just a little bit. But they just can't make any progress today. Is at the bottom line is aggression is being met with absorption. So I don't know how many times I flipped my bias, right? When do the sellers get tired? Right? Do the sellers get tired? Is the question. Right? We're like over here, we've got all of these buyers here, right? That don't want to give up. Got all these buyers down here. This is like the last line of defense right here. The bottom of this range here. This is the last line of defense. We lose this range, it's all downhill. Not going to be pretty. Okay, buyers are, it's more like absorption than aggressive buying, which is always nice to see at the bottom. Retesting that moving average. Likely going to be under water in this trade for quite some time. But looking at SPX, we are starting to move above this 0 gex line, and we're holding this dynamic trend line of resistance, as well as this very important positive gex level, which just stopped price from moving any lower. And now we are essentially and potentially retracing back up to 50% or 70%. Slightly positive 1.3K ish on the CVD, but relatively flat on the day, or at least for the afternoon. Let's take a quick stretch break. Just teasing her entry. Obviously, I'd like to see it come back up here, but it just tapped off the 30. If we can stay above it, feel a little better about my life. Oh, excuse me. Choking on a piece of toast. Okay, I was trying to eat and not choke to death. So regardless of what happens in this trade, I just took on way too much risk. And I feel like I just wanted to get in to try to make my money back. So big mental errors. Yeah, I like how it's looking right now. So we're just gonna hold on to this. So our plan was to take it to where this moving average flattened out and then dropped. So we're just kind of front running that level a little bit. I'm not sure if I had it on the screen, but right here for it ripped down. Significant buyers stepping in, which you really like to see. The 50 is all the way back up here. A little bit of absorption. The sellers are getting absorbed more so than the buyers. SPX is still respecting our line. We had a little bit of a fake out there. Accelerating pretty fast. aggressive buyers stepping in higher. Okay, the plan here is to take profit and then re-enter on a pullback to probably similar to where my current entry is, or add. If it doesn't make it to my profit target, I'm gonna add to it. I prefer to take the profit, have it pull back, and then take a second trade though. Reload. All right, so target hit. More buyers even stepping in higher. So I'd like to see here is a little absorption. Price comes back down. Test the bottom of this candle. Where we re-enter for 2. So that would be my next plan. We could take that all the way up to our original target this morning. All right. So I'd like to see this retrace back down. Now we're gonna not enter blindly here. We're gonna wait for a reaction. So we're gonna wait for price. This is a strong zone right here. Like, this is strong as well. This was a steady burst. So we're gonna choose this area as our area to watch. And when price gets to it, we're gonna look at this order flow. If price gets to it. I'm assuming like I know where price is gonna go. And this is a pretty strong range too. Our buyer stepped in. So pretty strong selling pressure right here. See what happens. Aggressive delta on the positive side, increasing slightly from my last check. We had two little pops here. There. And here. With another aggressive pop right here. Retest of the wall. Pull up deep dom, see what's going on here. There's no orders up there. There's nothing up there. I guess there's more to the top than the bottom, but okay. So we retraced to 70% of this range. So we're still in this range. That's a pretty strong extension up into resistance, or where seller stepped in before. That's on SPX. See up here. Let's add the ES order flow. It's gonna take a moment to load. All right. So two areas of interest. Aggressive volume really stepped in hard here. So that would be another area to rebuy. Aggressive buying and selling. Happening up here. See, there's a battle going on right now. You see how crazy the order flow is. But we're not jumping on the board, right? You get in here, it's gonna rip back down. We know, right? So we're now at Gex level 3. So this is where it should slow down. Okay, this should slow down right here. See if these sellers should still be here to protect, unless they basically took profit down here and got out. We also have these trap sellers down here, unless these were buyers who bought the top and had to, a lot of these could have been stops for, I very seriously doubt it. Like they just got absorbed. Like buyers become sellers, so price would go lower, which it did for a moment, right? Maybe those were stops. That's interesting. Tapped into this previous Gex zone. That's interesting as well. And then just reversed hard. So something that I'm going to look at in the future. You can see these 0-day expiration levels. Kind of found that range, tapped deep into it and left. We could come back there, right, to retest today. I mean, but we can see price is now slowing down in the SPX. Come down here, same thing, right? We had lots of two-way aggressive buying and selling happening here at the, call it the top, right? Aggressive sellers. So this level, pretty strong level. Strongest of the day, probably. This is XPX. ES. Moderate volatility. 78.91 is the price. And it looks like we're having a hard time breaking through that level at the moment. We nearly retraced the entire zone and then got a rejection. I think that would have been a good short, just a quick short scalp. All right. Let's go dual view. Okay, so we never came back, right? We just never came back. We went straight to what my target was, which was right here. So I like a short Okay, we're gonna take this momentum back down to where there were some buyers. Okay, so I like this trade. Got lots of effort that was not rewarded. So huge absorption, right? So I think we come down, it gets a little bit more power, and then tries to break through it again. So this is just a quick little pullback short after a long extension and then an absorption at the top. I mean, wouldn't be opposed to taking this all the way down to here, but we're not going to get greedy. We're just going to get some base hits and try to work ourselves back into the game. Bank a couple winning trades. So where do I want to get out? I want to get out where aggressive buyers were before. Where do I want to get in? I want to get in where buyers got absorbed after a long extension, where they might have lost a little bit of momentum. Okay, so they're printing more buyers here. So this isn't the best. This isn't the best look. It may not come back, right? It may just keep going up. I've already tapped in to there's a lot of buying pressure at the top right now. So a lot of aggressive buying. Let's see if sellers can absorb that and push it down. They're doing a good job. Could also be some shorts that got liquidated, right? Which pushes the price up a little bit, but multiple prints, there's probably some aggressive buying up there getting absorbed too. Sellers just waiting. Okay, so it's fair to assume if it loses steam, it's going to come back to where there were large numbers of participants willing to step in, or a large participant, a big player. And that's kind of what we're going for. All right, it could definitely continue down to a deeper level, but the odds are is that we're going to be able to take profit on this trade. We're getting ready to jump into power hour in about 6 minutes. We look on the higher time frame though. Especially on the ES here. We're right at 50%. Okay, and if we look at NQ, on the higher swing time. We're below 50%. So sellers are in control. Just moving into the order flow. Look like we're coming down on this level. We're gonna see if we tap into all this liquidity down here. It's pretty much right where my oh my god. Oh, that's a yes, that's why. NQ. My bad. That's crazy. ES is about to tap into some big liquidity. NQ has a little room to go. $52 is where big buyers were before, so we're going to 52. So they're not here now though. So there might be more room to the downside, honestly. Like, I think we're gonna hold on to this momentarily. Actually, I lied. We're gonna lock in our profits. Just gonna lock in our first set of profits and then look for a pullback to go short again. This might be the pullback here though, because sometimes these aggressive participants that were here before, they kind of front run that level. So we might have missed it by a tick. So we would enter short again for additional contracts if price gets back to 30 or 29,265. Strong rejection, so this looks like a bearish move, and we have room to come back down to the 0 gex line. So yes is like 5 points, so that's about 25 points. 57, 47, 37. Shit. This could come all the way down to we keep coming down. Lots of room. CVD is positive 2.7K. Yeah, we're gonna exit in profit there, or not profit, but break even, and we're gonna see if we get a retest a little bit higher here and see what happens. You can see we made a higher low. We had some buying pressure drive the price up. Here they got absorbed, so they're gonna try again. So this sets our risk pretty good, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, it is increasing, but price isn't necessarily going up. Okay. So getting out of that trade cost me $50. Yeah, this area right here is pretty key that we're coming up on. I think it goes a little bit lower, so we're gonna take a shot here on a retrace. We're gonna take our biggest shot of the day right here, right now. Biggest shot of the day on this contract or on this account. By biggest shot, I mean 5 contracts. And we likely won't take the 210 if it retraces and we get a big move in the opposite direction. We're just going to exit and save money. But we just broke this linear regression line. This line basically flattened out, and we're moving to the opposite side of it. We have all this buying pressure, but price could not go higher. Therefore, I'm I'm happy jumping on board because I think buyers are going to need to gain some more momentum lower, like down here. They want a shot of breaking through. They're trying, they're just being met with a lot of opposing force. $29,240. Then $29,234. That's where I have this right here. We bring up. Good day though. 487 on Take Profit Trader for NQ, up 547 on Apex. It's the only accounts I have on here. Okay, so on the top I have my funded futures, we're down 151. And then I have Apex, we're up 101 on MNQ. So it's a good day. And then Take Profit Trader, we're up 79 on MNQ, but we are on my funded futures right now. Okay, we are banking that we're gonna go lower. Okay. And right now we are holding this level. But the fact that it's flattening out is a little bit telling. There's not urgency to push through higher. All right, so tells me there's going to be a little bit of a battle. We can see that right here. So we had a battle here before. All right, battled, worked our way down, all the way up, came back, battled, worked our way down. And option one is, obviously there's more action, right? On the higher time frame, we are making lower highs. Okay, 1, 2, there's more room. All right, there is more room. Like, lots more room. And lots more resistance to the upside than to the downside. So for that reason, I'm short. Selling pressure starting to appear aggressive in nature at lower prices, but it's being absorbed. $50 more minutes in the New York session. Buyers are trying. I don't know, man. I'm still on the selling side. take a little different view on. We can see both the order flow so if these buyers right here can't hold, there really isn't anything for them until we get down here. Okay. It's a good print. I mean, there's room all the way, right? But this is the first area where I think we start to get a little bit of a pushback, but it happened a little bit higher. Big prints though, right? Sellers are dominating. Lots of room to go. Price doesn't move in a straight line. You just got to be patient. Ebbs and flows. Selling pressure, heavier. Price is moving down with aggressive selling pressure. There's more room. I mean, this is a very conservative profit target. So check this out, y'all. After taking 5 or 6 losses in a row, we made 2 really good trades. All right, we said that we were going to get some pushback right here. So we were out. So we exited, right? And I still think there's more room to the downside. But there could be a battle here for a little while. Okay, so essentially, get rid of some of these. I don't need all these. Getting back to test this zone right here. Right? Where aggressive buyers were here before. Right? And there's more sellers waiting up here at 29,250. So do I want to jump in with them and continue to ride this down further? That would be the question. Because we may need that to get some more momentum to break through. More momentum to break through. Okay, so not any aggressive buying here. to speak of, but sellers and buyers are now fighting for control. And it's absolutely crazy that we clawed back just with two solid trades, down nearly $300 back to break even. I believe we're up on all accounts today, but that doesn't really matter. Not the focus. All right, so I think this is the level that needs to be protected by buyers. And not doing a very good job. They're trying though. Okay, so this is the battle area right now, as it was before. Back here. This is where buyers absorbed and pushed price back up, pushed up here. It's getting retested right now. This is where sellers were absorbed. Get these trap buyers, trap buyers, trap buyers. Well, maybe up here too, right? Okay, looking at SPX options levels, we're below the 50% now on the swing. Okay, and that's taking it all the way to the bottom of this really crazy wick that basically stopped out all of these positions that may have had stop losses so long before retracing down. Now, of note, we made a lower high. I guess you could call that an equal high, which was also double top there. So selling stepped in lower. All right, strong selling pressure here. Okay, all the way across the board. All right, so likely wouldn't be bullish unless we could reclaim that level and hold above it. Let's make it green. Okay, so back over here, we're making our way back to the initial balance low. Sellers got rewarded. These buyers are no longer here. they're gone. Okay, absolutely gone. But are these buyers still here? That's our next question to answer. So, looking for a couple things down here. Big negative delta print, price being absorbed. You can pick your view however you want to look at it. The 122. 40 more minutes. Forty more minutes to go. Okay, so we got positive delta at the top, negative delta at the top, positive delta at the bottom. Or maybe that's an absorption, right? Not positive and negative delta. Delta number would be in the middle here, and it shows you where on the candle, which is pretty cool. All right, so as you can see, I annotated this area as the battle zone. We're below it. Kind of don't think a long position is I might be done for the day. Unless we do a breakout to the short side. That would be the only position. So let's look at that scenario. All right, there's potential to extend all the way down here. Or back to here, right? So that's 400 points. Okay. 1600 ticks. So if we break through this zone right here, might have a end of the day short or a nice little move. But in the meantime, if you were to get into a position, we just pulled back. We come back to test this zone again. All right, that would be the only trade. Single breakout to the bottom. Oh, look at these charts all day. My eyes are killing me. Interesting on ES, we're breaking through this level again. This is key. But the thing is that this zone is being protected. We tapped into it again and rejected out of it. So with the exception of at the beginning of the day on the initial breakout, every time we tapped into it, we failed. But the more we tap into it, think of it as shattering and breaking, and we can push farther down. The fact that we're below this trend line also, or right on it, right? We are testing it, right? We had this little fake out, and we're testing it again. This is another fake out. I'm leaning towards short. And I'm willing to jump in for one small contract short to take a profit down here. Putting my protection up there, 36 to win 45. I just see too much bearish things going on right now, and I don't think we're done. The news is shit right now. Inflation shit, tariffs, Iran. People are getting fucking pissed off, and the AI shit. I'm telling you, man. Bitcoin is like to the moon. It's like the dollar's getting maybe destroyed. Bitcoin is going to be the future. And maybe Trump's trying to do it on purpose. I mean, all conspiracy. Oh, Dolly Parton died at 80? She's only 80? Damn. What? That's sad. She's only 80? I thought she was older than that. Canada tariffs. Alright. Nothing too exciting on the news. Dude, the world is just fucked up, man. All right. Anyways, not much going on. All right, we're getting selling pressure. Let's see if it looks like they got absorbed right there. Okay. All right, they got absorbed right here. Okay, I'm out because they got absorbed and price is moving up. We exited that trade. Doesn't mean we won't get back in, but I like to see price come back up here and sellers step back in. So, better idea. Is to I would actually probably sell 2 here. So let's see if price can get back there. I'm not convinced we're done. All right, so we got filled. See if it plays out. My thought is that sellers are going to step back in here, okay? If not, then we know that they're no longer here. We get out and maybe look for a long. But my thoughts is that they're here. Okay. And I think we can squeeze $50 out of this trade. Like 12, 13 points. That's why sometimes it's not the best just to blindly buy a level, right? Because it could be anywhere on this candle where they protect. It's not always like at the level where the original order was placed. So so seller stepping in. Here on the S&P, we're still kind of holding. We're still holding what I would consider that trend. Okay, we could be wrong here. Price closes above these lines, we're flattening. Shit, 10 minutes till MOC. Market on close. Looks like we're getting close to breaking through this level right here. So we get a close above here. I'm out. Like snap out. Give it a minute. Button pressed. Okay, we're out. Okay. Looks pretty bullish. There's bullish volume. Buyers stepping in, sellers absorbed. Still not convinced though. Okay, I'm still not convinced. I think we can take another shot up here. There was a little volume with the push though, and there was a little pressure. So all right, I need to see a little bit of selling pressure in here. $75 on the buy side. See it get absorbed here. No, it's still moving up. Want to hold this level right here. Okay, we're in short. In short 3. This is a little scalp. We're just gonna follow it down. Take whatever they give us. All right, it's getting wiggly. 5 minutes to MOC. Buying pressure, selling pressure. Which way does it go? Nobody knows. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Lower low, lower low, higher low. Lower high, higher low. Higher low, lower high. So what do we want here? We want a higher low, or what looks like it might be a higher low. Or we want a lower low. Okay, this is just a little baby scalp. We have some aggressive buying here to protect. $5 is $5, yo. Kind of held up there. I was looking at this big aggressive selling bubble, right? Price hit it and just said nope. I was on the wrong screen, yo. What I was saying was here. So the price is holding the price up, the trend line, I guess the levels, the traders, the peoples are holding the price up. MOC is in 1 minute. We are not in a position. And if I had to pick one at this moment, it would be down. Maybe look for an absorption to the top and then a sell stop. Made a lower high, higher low. So MOC started. We do have negative aggressive seller stepping in. However, price is now moving down, staying right at the level. As a matter of fact, it's being absorbed. Aggressive buyers stepping in. With a little bit of effort. $10 minutes to go, not less than 10 minutes. It's hard to make $1, yo. So I don't see anything. I don't see a trade. Need to see an absorption. I'm starting to think that closing higher seems more probable. Looking at the S&P here. Could also be a fake out before bigger move down. Or we just rip to the downside. But right now, we're pushing to the upside. Sellers are stepping in. Buyers are stepping in. Prices continuing up. Large buyers got absorbed pretty instantly here. Okay. Buyers are stepping in. Holy shit. More buyers. More buyers. More buyers. More buyers. More buyers. Okay, seller stepping in. Seller stepping in. Big battle at the top. So we had a strong buy zone print, so we will likely take one last long for the day. So we're gonna let this retrace as far as it can and try to pop a buy stop in front of it. like 29,250. Right here. It's the level right here. 55. Yeah, I ain't chasing this shit, man. Sorry. We got 2 more minutes to close. We're just gonna call it a day, y'all. All right, interesting last thing on the ES. Look at price accelerate through these negative gamma exposure levels to minimize them. So actually, I'm gonna buy because I think they're hedging here. I think this is a hedge. We're just trying to get into the positive here. That's all. I think they're hedging here. All right, they're trying to hedge against their negative exposure. I could be 100% wrong. Comes back to like the middle. Just have to go with my read. I am in a position I'm down $54, but I want to look at these levels right here. 2 contracts MNQ. The market is closed. I anticipate we're still going to run through some of these GEX levels though. I'm just guessing. Okay. Just guessing that there's going to be some hedging here still. It looks like sellers are getting absorbed. Looks like sellers are starting to get absorbed right here. Can we make it back to break even? This is gonna auto close me out very soon, so I don't know. I think it's 5 minutes after, so we don't have a lot of time here, so we're probably gonna take an L to finish the day, but I took a shot. Okay, I saw something, I took a shot at it, and we missed. But overall on the day, it was a good day regardless of what happens on this trade. Put a stop loss below here for protection. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. And we just take the L, right? Saved a few bucks. So back over here, I was assuming that we'd go a little bit farther, but these levels cleared out, so there's nothing left here. A moment ago, there were 3 large negative exposure levels, so they pushed through it, and I think it's over. So I think we're done to the upside. All right, so we're gonna call it good here. Gonna get on out of here. That was a long ass day of trading. So happy trading to y'all tonight and tomorrow. And until next time, y'all just manage that risk, right? Stay in the game. Survival is number 1. And then a strategy that actually gives you an edge over time. So keep it simple, but that's not easy.